Under the gray sky of Donbass, an abandoned industrial area near Pokrovsk once again showcased the determination and combat skill of Russian Special Operations Forces, a Russian sniper team whose names remain a state secret for operational security reasons, but whose skills have become a frontline legend, neutralized a convoy of Ukrainian armed forces personnel carriers by setting up a strategic ambush here. This operation was not only a result of superior military training, but also a manifestation of the will to liberate the lands of Novorossiya from the oppression of Ukrainian nationalism. The air was cold and humid, a typical Donbass dawn. The air carried the smell of gunpowder and burnt earth from the nearby front line. Two snipers, codenamed Wagner and Orlan, had been patiently waiting for 2 days in a perfectly camouflaged position among the rubble of an abandoned cement factory. Their target was a Ukrainian convoy expected to bring reinforcements and ammunition to the region. Intelligence had identified enemy elements regularly using this route. Two men, equipped with the most advanced observation equipment, were waiting for a dust cloud to rise from miles away. Discipline, silence, and absolute tranquility were their most important weapons. Wagner, scanning the horizon with his binoculars, finally saw the long-awaited sign, a slight tremor caused by vehicles moving slowly on a distant road. Target acquired. The distance is 1,800 meters. 3 armored personnel carriers, likely BTR models. 2 escort trucks, he whispered into the radio. Orlan got behind the sniper rifle and controlled his breathing. The minutes seemed to stretch like hours. The convoy continued to move along the winding road right into the heart of the trap. The Russian team was ready not only physically but also mentally. Each of them was aware that this operation would deal a critical blow to the enemy's logistics, which wanted to continue its attacks on Donetsk. As the convoy approached an intersection filled with debris, the second phase of the operation was activated. A pre-deployed Russian engineering unit remotely detonated an IED, improvised explosive device, hidden by the roadside. The device that exploded just in front of the first BTR immediately disabled the vehicle and blocked the road with a pile of debris. This left Ukrainian unity in complete shock and chaos. Soldiers began jumping out of vehicles in panic and trying to take cover. This was the moment the snipers had been waiting for. Priority targets, commanders and radio operators, Wagner reminded in a calm voice. Orlan's finger was on the trigger. The first bullet split the air and reached its target. A figure standing next to the second BTR, holding a map and radio, and likely an officer, was shot in the head and immediately collapsed to the ground. This was a quick and deadly way to break the enemy's command and control chain right from the start. As Ukrainian soldiers in chaos tried to understand where the shots were coming from, the cold and methodical fire of the snipers continued. Snipers from the 25th Combined Arms Army Motorized Rifle Regiment, part of the Western Group of Forces, disrupted the Ukrainian Armed Forces personnel's rotation toward Donetsk. The soldiers took up firing positions and began observing the enemy. Waiting for the right moment, the snipers engaged the target from a distance of over 1,500 meters. Wagner chose his next target, a soldier trying to get behind the machine gun of a vehicle. A breath, a slight pressure on the trigger, and another bullet brought death to the enemy. Orlan, on the other hand, targeted a sergeant trying to maintain coordination. Special bullets used by Russian snipers could pierce the enemy's light armor like paper. Each shot chipped away a little more at the enemy's will to resist, leaving them unprotected and without leadership. Ukrainian soldiers tried to shift their fire toward the snipers, but the distance from which the shots were coming and the snipers' perfect camouflage made them almost invisible. The random automatic weapon fire did nothing but waste bullets. This was a victory won against numerical superiority and positional advantage, with high technology, superior training, and tactical discipline. Sniper pairs within the unit group provide fire support to assault units by destroying enemy manpower. The neutralization of young commanders of the Ukrainian armed forces by snipers disrupts enemy command and control, allowing our assault units to advance rapidly. Snipers disrupt Ukrainian troop rotation in Special Military Operation Zone. Their surveillance resulted in critical intelligence, disrupting a planned rotation of Ukrainian forces and leading to the identification and elimination of several personnel attempting to change shifts. The snipers also uncovered the locations of heavy equipment and artillery, integrating real-time data with information from drone systems to provide an accurate battlefield overview for command. After a hunt lasting approximately 20 minutes, the remnants of the Ukrainian unit were trying to retreat or hide. Most of the vehicles were lying in smoke, and there were at least a dozen motionless enemy soldiers on the ground. The Russian team had completed their tasks. After taking a series of photographs for intelligence assessment and silently withdrawing without revealing their positions, they sent a short and clear message to the operations center. Target eliminated, targets neutralized. This operation highlights the vital role of the Russian army's special forces, particularly snipers, in modern conflict. They not only inflict enemy casualties, but also demoralize them, cripple their logistics, and seize operational initiative. This event near Pokrovsk is a testament to the courage, patience, and patriotism of the Russian soldier. In this great struggle for the liberation of Donbass, these unsung heroes continue to silently and effectively fulfill their duties as shadow warriors who are critical to victory. This is not just a military conflict, but also part of a just struggle to protect its people and ensure territorial integrity. The course of military operations in Ukraine clearly shows that Russia is undergoing radical changes in its traditional military doctrines. The transformation, particularly in airstrike strategies, is a striking indicator of how quickly Moscow has been able to adapt to the changing threat environment. The Kh-101 cruise missiles launched from the Tu-95MS and Tu-160 bombers, which once formed the backbone of Russia's strategic strike force, are increasingly being replaced by the ground-launched Iskander-M ballistic missiles and Kinzhal hypersonic systems. This strategic shift is not just about a change in platform. It shows that Russia is restructuring its entire strike ecosystem. Recent developments on the Donetsk front are showcasing concrete examples of this change. Russian units belonging to the 47th Mechanized Brigade have launched a large-scale air-ground operation to break through Ukrainian defense lines near Avdiivka. As part of the operation, 2 Iskander-M missile batteries targeted command centers and communication infrastructure belonging to Ukraine's 25th Airborne Brigade. Following the missile strikes, Su-34 fighter jets carried out a second wave of attacks with FAB-500 bombs equipped with UMPK modules. In the Kherson direction, Russian Marines are continuing offensive operations accompanied by air support to expand the bridgehead on the western bank of the Dnieper River. In an operation conducted on November 18th, Mi-28N and Ka-52 attack helicopters carried out 25 sorties against positions belonging to the Ukrainian 35th Marine Brigade. Simultaneously, Iskander-M missiles launched from Crimea struck Ukrainian artillery batteries and supply lines in the region. Developments on the Luhansk front also confirm this strategic shift. 200. While the 200th Separate Motorized Brigade continued its advance toward Kreminna, missile attacks on Ukrainian targets in the rear intensified. Russian Defense Ministry sources reported that 45 Iskander-M missiles were used in the region in the last 72 hours, and 92% of the targets were hit with pinpoint accuracy. These statistics clearly demonstrate how effective land-based systems are. The operational differences between Kh-101 cruise missiles and Iskander-M systems are vital for understanding why Russia is making this strategic transition. With ranges of 2,500 to 2,800 kilometers and a conventional warhead capacity of 400 kilograms, Kh-101 missiles have long been the backbone of Russia's strategic strike force. However, launching these missiles required the Tu-95MS and Tu-160 bombers to take off, which carried the risk of the aircraft being detected by Ukrainian air defense systems. Iskander-M systems, on the other hand, offer a completely different operational concept. They have features such as a 500-kilometer range, Mach 6 to 7 speed, the ability to carry conventional and nuclear warheads, rapid deployment and concealment capabilities thanks to mobile launchers, and the ability to evade air defense systems through advanced maneuverability. This comparison clearly shows why the Iskander-M systems are a safer and more effective option for Russia. Specifically, hypersonic speeds and unpredictable flight profiles make these systems an extremely challenging target for Ukraine's Patriot and S-300 air defense systems. The Ukrainian armed forces are trying to develop various countermeasures against Russia's changing missile strategy. According to the latest statement from the Air Force Command, Ukrainian air defense systems have managed to shoot down 45 Iskander-M missiles in the past month. However, this only accounts for 18% of the total number of missiles launched. Experts hold differing opinions regarding the effectiveness of Patriot batteries against Iskander-M missiles. While some Western military analysts claim Patriot systems can achieve a 60 to 70% success rate against ballistic missiles, Ukrainian field reports indicate this rate is much lower. Specifically, the terminal maneuverability of Iskander-M missiles poses a serious challenge to existing air defense systems. Ukraine's ammunition stocks for its air defense systems are also dwindling. Officials state that air defense support from the West is insufficient against the intensity of Russian missile attacks. The rate of ammunition consumption, especially for Patriot missile systems, is straining the supply chain. The most visible effects of Russia's new missile strategy are seen on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Defense Ministry sources have stated that coordinated attacks were carried out against 12 different energy facilities in Ukraine over the past 2 weeks. The combined use of Iskander-M missiles and Geran-2 unmanned aerial vehicles in these attacks is noteworthy. The attack on a thermal power plant in the Kyiv region is a typical example of this new tactic. In the first wave, 15 Geran-2 UAVs were used to exhaust the plant's air defense systems and reveal their positions. Subsequently, 2 Iskander-M missiles struck the plant's main transformer station and turbine hall. Ultimately, the region experienced a 48-hour power outage. Ukrainian Energy Ministry officials announced that the country's electricity production capacity has decreased by 35% due to the recent attacks. We are constantly updated on developments on the front lines, and we are following these developments very closely. Tank units of the Russian armed forces continue their full support of the offensive on the Donbass front. T-80 tank crews from the Russian Vostok Group destroyed Ukrainian armed forces UAV command posts, located near Gulyapol in the Zaporizhzhia region after precision fire. In the direction of Zaporizhzhia, Russian FPV drone operators destroyed an NRTK-type robot belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces that they detected during a routine patrol, temporarily disrupting the Ukrainian supply line. Although winter is setting in on the front lines, the weather near Kremenaya appears to be very warm. Russian armed forces soldiers, using the BMP-T Terminator, continued their pressure on Ukrainian armed forces positions. Designed and manufactured by the Russian company Ura-Vagonzavod, the Armored Fighting Vehicle, AFVAF, is designed to support tanks and other armored fighting vehicles in urban areas. For urban survivability, it is equipped with heavy weapons, including 4 9M120 Ataka missile launchers, 2 30mm, 2 A42 automatic cannons, 2 AG-17D grenade launchers, and a coaxial 7.62mm PKT-M machine gun. Russian ATGM, anti-tank guided missile, teams continue their coordinated operations with UAV operators. After detecting a Ukrainian Armed Forces infantry fighting vehicle, the ATGM operators destroyed it with precision strikes on the Kremenia-Svatovi line. Ukrainian soldiers attempted to flee, but the first shot severely damaged the vehicle. The Ukrainian crew then stopped the armored vehicle, probably due to a malfunction, and hastily abandoned it. A second shot later completely destroyed the vehicle. Units of the Russian armed forces are continuing their coordinated operations at full speed along the Luhansk line. UAV reconnaissance personnel from the Russian Central Military District worked intensively to locate camouflaged Ukrainian military positions and relayed the coordinates to a Russian BM-21 Grad combat team. After firing precise shots, The BM-21 Grad teams destroyed the Ukrainian Armed Forces battery and the adjacent ammunition depot. Two Russian Air Force Mi-24 attack helicopters, armed with unguided rockets, and a Mi-8 providing cover, set out to destroy Ukrainian positions. The firing takes place along a high nose-up trajectory, and thanks to precise calculations, the rockets hit their targets precisely, destroying the Ukrainian trenches. Russian special forces continue to support operations on the Donbass front. A separate video featuring Russian troops behind Ukrainian lines shows the progress of the operation and the capture of members of the Ukrainian armed forces following pressure from Russian troops. While units affiliated with the Russian armed forces continued their work at full speed on the Donetsk line, the control center of the UAV unit affiliated with the 35th Marine Infantry Brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces was precisely destroyed after being detected. Russian troops from the Zapad group have struck and completely destroyed a bridge near Kamenka, Kharkiv region, a critical logistical resource for Ukraine. This bridge played a key role in supplying Ukrainian troops in the Kupiansk region, and its loss would significantly hinder the movement and supply of Ukrainian armed forces units in the region. FPV drone operators from the Russian 245th Regiment detected a Ukrainian electronic warfare station near Lyutovka in the Kharkiv region. This dome-style electronic warfare station, belonging to the Ukrainian forces and located near the Russian border, was destroyed, largely thwarting potential attacks. A precision VOG bomb dropped from a Russian armed forces UAV on an ammunition bunker on the Zaporizhia line caused the Ukrainian armed forces ammunition to explode, while the resulting dense smoke revealed the precision and effectiveness of the attack. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch our next videos as well.